This is Manindrabu from Batam. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
I'm Sela Sadakau from Vatukola. I only listen to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold Naka, I'm Vale and I'm working at Golden Grove Resort, and I love listening to Gold FM because it plays a really wide range of classic music.
I'm Saini Sakio from Kashmir Wotoka. I like Gold FM, but only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spade. This is FBC News. Tonight, Fiji and Indonesia police join hands in fight against global crimes. Fijian peacekeeping missions remain on track despite South Sudan conflict. And Fiji Navy is still trying to salvage boats stuck on reef. A $16.2 million sawmill and kiln facility is set to catapult the Fijian pine industry to greater heights following its official unveiling today. And Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says the success story of the Fiji Pine Group bears testament to government's commitment in salvaging this once ailing sector. Madhyam Bolai Tamana with this report.
It is this $16.2 million state-of-the-art facility that is dubbed to pave the way forward for the Fiji Pine Group.
After commissioning of the sawmill last month, we were able to achieve an output that was 3 times more than what we were producing before. At the same time, we were able to increase the recovery rate of logs to timber from 28% to 51%.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says the growth of the group in leaps and bounds over the years is testament to government's reforms in salvaging the company.
Thanks to my government reforms, Fiji Pine has practiced prudent financial management, reinvested its profits in forests and factories, and raised the standards and expectations in the work environment. The operation here is more disciplined and more innovative than ever before.
Bainimarama also handed out lease bonus checks to landowners who he says have been the stellar in the growth of the sector.
Today, it stands at a record of $1.5 million. Last year, we celebrated crossing the $1 million mark, and now we have done better, nearly a full 50% better. This is a true victory for the Fiji Pine Group, its shareholders, and indeed the entire Fijian economy.
For the landowners and the Fiji Pine Group, the future looks better from here as they embark on a journey of taking the sector to greater heights. Madhyam Bolai Tamana, FBC News.
No country can fight transnational organized crimes alone, and the Fiji Police Force, together with its Indonesian counterparts, are working together to combat this. The two police forces met in Suva today for the second joint technical working group session since the signing of the MOU in 2011. Akusita Tale reports.
There are 8 types of crimes that the Indonesia National Police are willing to work and cooperate with our Fiji Police Force today and into the future. These crimes range from narcotics, terrorism, human trafficking, people smuggling, economic crime, cybercrime, environment crime, and maritime.
In this globalization era, there's no country can fight the transnational organized crime alone. We need to cooperate to support our countries and also to support the security of the region.
Fiji's Police Chief Brigadier General Sitiveningiliho says they hope the collaboration between the two nations will grow to be stronger and beneficial.
Share the experience could not have come at a better time, noting the complexity of global policing challenges confronting us today. For crime respects no border, irrespective of the differences we may have. As neighbors in the Pacific, we have a seamless border, so as the common global challenges we have to tackle to address the challenges of the 21st century.
Close to 20 Fijian police officers have received training in Indonesia in various capacities since 2011. Brigadier General Johnny Asadoma says the capacity of personnel need to be enhanced to fight transnational organized crimes.
Without good capacity of our police personnel, we are not able to fight the transnational organized crime, because as organized crime, they are also developed time to time in line with technology.
The outcome of the meeting today will pave the way forward for the extension of the existing MOU of cooperation between the two forces. Ako si Tatale, FBC News.
Fijian peacekeeping missions remain on track despite the recent fighting in South Sudan and elsewhere. Director Peacekeeping Operations Commander Humphrey Tawake says there are currently 850 Fijian nationals involved in missions abroad, with the rotation of troops scheduled for later this year. Maggie Boyle with the story.
They're becoming familiar faces in the most remote and conflicted areas. Fijian peacekeepers are working in Syria, the Golan Heights, Sinai, Iraq, Lebanon and South Sudan.
In the Golan Heights, they're good. The situation as well remains. I visited Syria as well. We've got a couple of our troops up in Mount Hermon and up down south in the location in the area of separation on the Syrian side.
With no lives lost, Tawake says the rotation of Fijian troops is set to continue.
The morale of the troops remain high. And they will be coming back next month and rotating. The current troops that will be replacing them are down at Black Rock at the moment.
Priorities now, the commander says, is to ensure the troops are safely equipped, given the ever-changing security assessments.
The indicators, the triggers for changes and whatever enhanced force protection that is required. But we have all the faith in both missions, in UNIFIL and in UNDOF, to take necessary precautions to ensure the safety and security of all the troops on the ground.
Despite the volatility in the areas that our peacekeepers serve, the missions abroad will continue. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The RFMF is working on how to salvage the vessel Kira, which ran onto a reef near Makaluva last Friday near Suva. Military Commander Rear Admiral William Poto says divers have been brought in to help find ways to recover the vessel. Savara Tambua has more.
The Fiji Navy is looking at its options on how to salvage the Kiro, which has been stuck since it hit the reef last Friday.
Right now, as we speak, we have a team of divers back on board. They went in at low tide, which is about 1 hour ago. A team of divers plus a team of engineers to do damage control. What we're trying to do is to assess the damage of the hull before we attempt to pull it out.
An inquiry will also be conducted to determine how the boat came to end up hitting the reef.
Right now, our concentration is trying to salvage the boat. When that comes down a little bit, then we will go into the investigation, because the same people who will be interviewed are also involved in trying to get the boat off the reef right now.
The Navy says it is difficult to reach the boat. According to Nopoto, officers have to swim through breakers to get to it. It is hoped the full salvage operation can get underway either on Thursday or Friday. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
The Lautoka mill rolled out to a slow start this morning as cane harvesting in the western cane belt of Fiji started today. While the Fiji Sugar Corporation is expecting a low one this season, it is optimistic that production at its 2 mills will churn out a respectable yield. Madhim Bolaitamana has more.
Despite the late start into the crush this season, the man at the helm of the FSC says the maintenance works at its 2 mills in the Western Division should produce a respectable tons cane, tons sugar ratio.
We've been a bit complicated in terms of the cyclone damage as well. Not so much at Lautoka, but there's been structural damage, as we know, in Rarawai as well. So putting all that together, I think the preparation, the crew has done a good job of preparing both mills ready for the start of the season. If you're looking at about 800 and working between the two, you may be looking at maybe closing off around about end of October, maybe closer into mid-November. Everything going well, obviously, but then you've got weather that may have an issue, and sometimes you've got a crop supply that may be an issue, and sometimes the mill may be an issue as well. So everything being equal, we should see about mid-November at the latest.
While the backhand work at the mills has been well taken care of, Khan says the low sugar in the cane this season is a result of the dismal weather conditions.
The crop's not that big. We're expecting about 800 to 900,000 together in all of VT level. So yeah, smaller crop, but hopefully we'll be able to extract maximum sugar for whatever crop size we have. If we get 800, we're normally working on about a TCTS of 9 at the moment. So if we get about 800,000 tons of sugar cane, we should get close to about 90,000 tons of raw sugar.
With its Lambasa mill at full tilt since the start of the harvest some 6 weeks ago, Khan says the two western mills are expected to end crushing by mid-November. Madhimbole Tamana, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC News, ADB and World Bank to provide more technical assistance to Fiji. And Fiji and Indonesian work on new programs to help women in the country. Stay with us.
I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy. I'm from Gamiatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah. I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Wulamila. I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks in Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The World Bank is working with the Asian Development Bank in supporting the Fijian government in various areas, including transport, water and sewage services, and technical assistance. This was highlighted during the signing of 2 loan agreements yesterday, amounting to $100 million. Ellen Stahls reports.
The two superpower organizations, the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank, are not only limited to providing financial assistance, but technical assistance as well.
But we're also supporting government in several other areas. An important area is including technical assistance on the civil service reform program, on renewable energy, as well as on the social protection program in Fiji and sort of building in disaster responsiveness into Fiji's social protection systems.
Not to be outdone, the ADB will mobilize funds to fight climate change in Fiji as well.
We were pleased to be able to mobilise $30 million in Green Climate Fund grant money for Fiji to assist with the work in Suva. We expect the European Investment Bank will also be supporting that. This would be the first project from the European Investment Bank also in the Pacific.
Attorney General Aya Said Kayum says the assistance also extends to changes in the laws of Fiji.
ADB is helping us at the moment in some of the state-owned enterprise-related legislative changes we want to bring about. Also in respect of technical assistance with the divestment of shares that we have as a policy agenda. And World Bank also, we, for example, liaise with them in respect of changing the financial year. We had the office here in Suva help us with that.
Syed Kayum says the government will continue to work with and learn from these two international institutions because of the wealth of knowledge that they have from dealing with other countries around the world. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
The Ministry for Women and Children, in collaboration with the Indonesian government, will introduce new programs in the country. The programs to assist women and children will come into effect later this year and will continue until 2018. Kelly Vadala has more.
The Indonesian and Fiji government have agreed to build a bilateral cooperation on women empowerment, gender equality and children welfare and protection.
There has been demarcation of implementation dates, and I'm pleased to say that the 4 programs activities will be implemented for the rest of 2016, 5 for 2017, 2 other programs in 2017 and 2018. In strengthening the existing bilateral cooperation, there is willingness to reaffirm and strengthen cooperation in the
Indonesian delegates visited the National Child Helpline Service in Suva today to see one of the many ways children in Fiji are being assisted. Indonesian Women's Minister Yohana Yimbize says Fiji has been an important partner for Indonesia and shares similar social issues.
To strengthen the relationship and expand their cooperation in the field of women empowerment and child protection based on the principle of equality, mutual benefits, mutual respect, and mutual trust. Indonesia and Fiji will cooperate in order to provide education for children with special needs and children-friendly schools in Queen Victoria's Court.
Minister Rosie Akbar says the second joint technical working group with Indonesia is bound to bring greater empowerment and better lives for our women through exchanging of knowledge and information. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The Northern Development Programme will be focusing on agriculture development when the new financial year kicks in next month. The programme assists small and micro businesses through funding to help boost the economy in the north. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
About 2,000 small and micro business enterprises have been assisted through the Northern Development Programme. Come the new financial year, the program will concentrate on agriculture development.
The NDP, we are mostly covering rural-based projects, and the focus for the new financial year would be, we have a lot of fishing projects, about 50% of our funding in the fishing sector. So we want to move away from fishing to the real agriculture development, meaning we want to develop farmers with leases to cultivate their land, focus on livestock and also rice.
NDP manager Waisile Tuindama says they will encourage the cluster system in the agriculture sector to help boost exports.
We'll have a main farm, maybe a chicken process farm, and then we'll provide the smallholder projects that supply poultry to the processing plant. These are things we want to look at the product. Maybe for livestock, we'll do the same concept in other things. So even in vegetables, we have an exporter here. So we want to encourage small farmers to grow what this exporter requires.
Tuindama says in the long term, the NDP would like to see the setup of agriculture facilities in Vanua level.
Also want some marketing facilities, the construction of abattoirs. These are the things, maybe a milk processing plant, something like that for the north.
With a success rate of 84%, Tuindama says the NDP will be very selective of the projects they will assist in the new financial year. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
And turning to world news, new images have surfaced of police officers in Louisiana in the United States who were ambushed and shot. Officials are still trying to ascertain why the former Marine Gavin Long went on a rampage where he killed 3 officers. The story from TVNZ. Now to sports, here's Jamie with what's coming up.
Nagasaki and good evening. In sports tonight, Fiji's youngest Olympian gears up for Rio. And new development officer positive about progress AFL Fiji is making. We'll have this and more after the break.
आपको खरगंगा के रंजिला का नमस्कार। रेडियो फिजी की सुंदर सुंदर यादों का खजाना एकदम बचपन के दिन याद करा देते हैं।
हमारा नाम जोनी नायडू है, हम रहता है मलोलो में और हम टैक्सी ड्राइवर है। हम सब टाइम अपन टैक्सी में रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता प्रोग्राम।
हम सिंगाटोका के हैं, हमारा नाम है रोजी। हम लोग यहाँ पे रेडियो फिजी 2 सुनता है।
राम राम, मैं रेमस प्रसाद बोलता हूँ, तब बताऊँ मैं कोई रहता हूँ। मैं जब भी सुना रेडियो फिजी 2 ही सुनता हूँ।
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Table tennis player Sally Yee will be the youngest representative from Fiji to feature in the Rio Olympics in Brazil next month. Despite being only 15 years old, Yee is ready to take on opponents ranked higher than her in the women's singles grade. Vaishnav Prasad with the story.
Rounding up the preparation for her dream trip to Olympic Games, Sally Yee has been pushing beyond the limit during training.
Been training a lot lately, overseas and here at home. So when we go, when I go to the Olympics, I hope to put all my trainings and everything I learn into the competition.
His achievement at an early age has shocked the world of table tennis, but not her proud parents, who are ready to give their daughter all the support needed.
For me, as a father, I'm very happy and I'm proud of Sally making it through to the Olympics. I think my happiness is beyond, I cannot describe how happy I am.
While he will be out to represent the nation at the world stage, her parents will have something else to do.
We'll pray. We'll pray hard for her and cheer.
It's the first time Fiji table tennis will be part of the Olympics, and the sport is grabbing this opportunity with both hands.
Of course, Oceania is probably the most lower ranked. It's her and two other women from Australia. One of them is a 5-time Olympian already, so she's got that experience. The other one is also a first-timer, but again, she's got a more higher level of table tennis exposure and experience.
No matter what the outcome is, the Janeran college student is just starting her long road in the sport, and no better place than the Olympics to get going. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
While there is extra strain on the Fiji 7 side going into the Olympic Games as the #1 seed, the team knows too well that it's anybody's game from kickoff. With this in mind, Ben Ryan and his men hope to use the added pressure to their advantage. Rohit Deo reports.
Fiji Sevens know that despite being the top-ranked team, they face tough competition on the road to winning gold.
This team has always provided the right outcomes. Now we're going to be put under even more pressure. It's going to be slapping us around the face for 3 days because we're going in as heavy gold medal favourites, and I think that's something that we can use positively because the boys still know that Sevens is a game that you earn your results and you earn your wins.
Fiji faces Argentina, USA and Brazil in pool play, and the national mentor knows none of those teams can be taken lightly.
Brazil may not be in the top echelon of teams, but it's their home tournament and we play them first. So expect them to be running at 100 miles an hour for 14 minutes. Then we play a home South American team, Argentina, who we've played 6 or 7 times in a row and beaten them, and every time it's got less and less and less. And then America, who have got an excellent coach in Mike, and they've got a very good, well-drilled side.
Fiji takes on Brazil in its first match at 4:30 AM our time on August 10th. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Football Association launched its Vodafone Women's Under-18 League today. 13 teams will take part in the tournament, which is funded by FIFA, with operational costs covered through Vodafone sponsorship. The league is part of a development program to form a future national team.
FBCTV is much committed to the development of women's football in the country, and we can clearly see where our national women's team will be in a few years to come. This league forms the basis of our women's football development program, and it will also accommodate the players who had previously represented Fiji in the Under-17 OFC playoff.
The league, which will be played in a zonal basis, starts this Saturday. Fiji football's Under-17 team has been drawn in a tough pool for the OFC Championship in Tahiti next year. Fiji will face Samoa, Solomon Islands and defending champions New Zealand in Pool B. In Pool A, host Tahiti is grouped with New Caledonia, Papua New Guinea and Vanuatu. Fiji Under-17 coach Helen Lal believes while they have had months to prepare, competition at the meet will be no walk in the park.
It's a great pool, especially New Zealand and Solomons in the pools. And we have been preparing for this OFC qualifiers. And I think we are in the 7th month of preparation now. And yes, of course, we'll respect all the teams that is playing in there. And the best part is that all the teams that is coming in the qualifiers will be playing for the first time.
The OFC Under-17 Championships will be held from the 11th to the 24th of February in Tahiti. The Australian Football League's new development officer to Fiji, Simon Highfield, has started in his new role. While his aim is to take the sport to greater heights in Fiji, Highfield says while doing so, he also hopes to create more awareness on healthy living. Meli Tavanga reports.
Highfield worked with the Solomon Islands AFL team before coming to Fiji. He says he will assist in development football at both the junior and senior levels.
Well, Fiji at the moment are running school programs and community programs. So we go out to the
the parties, and we run quality programs that revolve around developing and teaching the skills and rules of AFL. But ultimately, we're using sport and we're using AFL as a vehicle to teach and improve participants' ability to be aware of the importance of physical activity, the importance of healthy nutrition, and the risk factors that are associated with NCDs.
Highfield says the senior men's and women's team have progressed well throughout their FL competitions in preparations for the upcoming International Cup in Melbourne next year.
The quality of AFL in Fiji is fantastic. The previous results that we've seen from senior teams in the 2011 and 2014 International Cups have been fantastic. Most recently the men finished 10th and the women finished 5th at the previous International Cup. So we'll be building on those results heading towards the International Cup next year in 2017. The juniors, like all Fijians, are just fantastic athletes, and we've noticed a really good ability in the Oceania Cup, which is an under-15 national team. So Fiji have won that multiple times since it's begun, which we host here in Suva every year. But just ultimately, Fijians are fantastic athletes, and their ability to convert to AFL is, as we've seen so far, has been really good. And the biggest draw card, I guess, for AFL Fiji is that we've got multiple professionals playing in Australia for top-line AFL clubs at the moment.
Highfield says they will also be running high school competition in Central and Western Division towards the end of this year. Moving forward, AFL is also trying to move the sport in the northern part of Fiji. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
That's it from Sports Tonight. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Cosmetic users are being urged to be cautious when purchasing cosmetics from retail outlets or online, as some traders are selling counterfeit makeup products. Consumer Council of Fiji is claiming that a boutique in the capital city is selling imitation MAC products.
An investigation was carried out by the council following a complaint by a consumer who claimed that MAC makeup products sold by a boutique in Suva could be counterfeit.
We started liaising with the boutique to establish where they were buying these products from, and we learned that they were buying these products online from Hong Kong. I'm just warning consumers that you're not going to spend so much money buying a product which is not genuine. And our concern mainly is related to the safety of MAC products. Sometimes when it's fake products, the chemicals used in creating that cosmetic can be harmful to consumers. And to investigate further, we had to write to MAC International, based in New York. So MAC International conducted its own investigation, and they've actually shut down the online site in Hong Kong because they were selling fake MAC products.
Kumar says consumers should ensure that the product they buy are authentic and safe.
I'm just warning consumers that you're not going to spend so much money buying a product which is not genuine. And our concern mainly is related to the safety of MAC products. Sometimes when it's fake products, the chemicals used in creating that cosmetic can be harmful to consumers.
Consumers need to be vigilant when purchasing expensive makeup brands at unrealistic cheap prices. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
It was a gorgeous, sunny and bright day with few clouds and a clear blue sky. Get your blankets ready for the night, as cool south breezes will bring about a cold night. Lombasa was at a comfortable temperature of 32 degrees, while Lautoka and Ba followed at 29. The rest of the centers were cool in the higher 20s. Tomorrow should be much like today, sunny, some clouds and just a slim chance of showers in eastern areas. And the further outlook, we're looking ahead to Thursday. The sunny periods are expected to continue with occasional showers at sea. Southeast winds gusting up to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. And recapping the main stories for tonight, Fiji and Indonesia police have joined hands in fighting against global crimes. Fijian peacekeeping missions remain on track despite South Sudan conflict. And young table tennis rep ready for Rio Olympics. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. On to this week's poll question, we are asking, is the Fiji Sevens team named for the Olympics the strongest ever? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spade. Good night.
Alango katonesia tugotua, aongonia saurara, aundo wulwul tagi tunga na TV ni na market e tawa. Aundo tali tanga na waronga na Bula FM na magdua na sir.
Bula na Fiji, na dango plasio matairi, ngon mai na na bulo tabiuni, au sa tunga nandi, aundo tali tai na warongo na Bula FM. Bula!
Bula FM number 2 en seri.